going into each other's place a little more lax, maybe a little more loose, ready to play, and maybe a little more too much pressure at home in front of the home fans. And who knows? They're both away this time. I believe Ball State will be home on the scoreboard here, but they're both in familiar territory here, obviously, but they're both away, so I think we're going to see one hell of a battle.
All right, well, this College Cable Access sports presentation is underwritten in part by a grant from Cable Access Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. We thank those people. And a little later on after this match, approximately 25 minutes after this first match ends, it will be IPFW #1 seed against Lewis University, the #4.
Yeah, we're about ready to start here. Pat Karras will be our up official tonight. Patty Salvatore on the umpire or second referee position. Ball State appears they're going to be serving first.
Okay, let's run down the lineups for you. For Ball State, back on serve, one of their R&R boys, Todd Reimer. He is a good one. Phil Etherton, #16, getting the start, middle back. In the front row, we're going to watch this one all night long. Greg Romano.
Definitely.
#9.
Could play middle, could play outside. He's very versatile, hits all over the place. I believe he hits better in the middle, but you have to pass the ball to be able to do that. Looks like he'll be playing outside, though, this first game.
And Reimer coming up with it. Etherton bumping to get it over. Here's Romano, 3-man block, and that's what Ohio State is going to do.
Definitely, and you know a three-person block is up. You definitely have to cover as the attacking team there, and the set's inside the court, which even makes it tougher for the hitter.
Jay Eastman on serve for Ohio State. And this is what you're going to see a lot of from Ohio State. Backcourt defense, they dig it out. Spitznagel heading over. The reset. Romano. First kill tonight.
Yeah, had a kind of a sailor there. It was actually a serve more than it was a hit. Had a knuckler going right at the defender and didn't have a prayer. Caught him off the shoulder.
Well, Romano has moved to the left side. He's an outside hitter now. He used to be a middle, and that happened. Potter set a little too tight that time, but managed to finagle it down.
Yeah, a little finesse move there, a little Drano on Ball State.
Just to finish that point, Tim. Romano has moved from the middle to the outside, all really in the space of the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, and I think we saw the beginnings of that with the IPFW match. They put him outside because they were not passing the ball well, and he needs to see the ball for Ball State to be effective offensively. And because you don't pass the ball well, obvious place to put somebody is in the outside, because you can get the ball there a lot easier with a bad pass than you can get it to the middle.
And also moving to that position, he takes a lot of the serves. So we'll see how Romano does on the serve and see if Ohio State works him. They do right here. Outside put down.
Yeah, no penetration on the block there, and I think Junkers knows about it. He was about 2 feet away from the net. Definitely asking for trouble as a blocker when you're that far off the net. And he should have realized that the ball's going outside in that kind of a pass.
This is a setter, Baxter, on serve. Still 0-0 in that time. A little late up in the middle, Junker. And we saw that here the last time Ohio State stopped in 3 weeks ago. Junker was just not effective in the middle offensively.
Yeah, he's looked. I think they had their signals crossed, actually, because Spitznagel set a different set than the approach of Junker.
2 to get it over. Outside, Bengoa up. Spitznagel hits the reset. This is Eastman off the fingertips. Did he catch?
No.
Ball State pulls down. It's a hitting error for Eastman. First point of the match, or second rather now. It's 2-0 Ball State. Bengoa off the block. And talking with Coach Don Shondell of Ball State, he said, there is the man that hurts us. Not Steve Potter, who is probably going to be an all-conference player. The man right there, Jose Bengoa, freshman.
Definitely a spark plug for that group. Keeps them emotionally in the match. Can make some nice emotional plays, some plays that surprise people on the other side of the court.
Reimer's first kill tonight. And Reimer, here we get a replay here. He's a legitimate player.
Oh yeah, he's got an excellent swing, hits the ball high, hits at a very good clip. Against IPFW, I believe he hit about 450, which is excellent in that when they got just drubbed by IPFW down at Ball State. He was maintaining an excellent hitting percentage, even though his teammates weren't playing quite as well.
One-on-one block, Eastman. And this is how Ohio State stays in it. They're patient.
Exactly, and that was Romano's replacement in the middle that hit that ball, Phil Etherton.
Etherton's 6'9", but he's a little unorthodox in that middle position.
He is a freshman.
He's not quick.
He's a freshman. Yeah. He's not quick yet. He's probably doesn't have the confidence that Romano certainly would have in the middle. But once again, they're going for a bigger lineup and a different look in the passing.
Well, that's the third service error for Ball State in this first game, and it's very young yet. 1-2 Bengoa on serve for Ohio State. Keeperoff handling. Reimer putting down Junker there to cover. Can't up it.
Now, Romano's going to, Reimer's going to do whatever he wants, no matter how Ball State's going to be playing as a team. He's just going to be effective no matter what. It's just a question of how many people he can take with him.
Two-man block that time. The set called for the outside. Matt Wilson looking for it. The high set. Ball State drifted over and shut down the middle. Potter with the left hand. Did he get fingertips?
He's not in the swing of things. He's not getting on top of the ball with timing in his jump. Hitting underneath that ball, it tends to make you sail it. He's not in quite the rhythm he can be.
Boy, Spitznagel going down to get that one. Great set that time.
Just excellent set.
Nice body control. He had to go down and play that one all the way. Jay Eastman on serve at 1-4. Romano has passed the ball well. Oath that time with a hitting error.
Yeah, that was just he sailed that ball himself. I think Ball State's asking for touches. Everybody's asking for touches at this point, but those are just basically bad swings at the ball with a pretty good set. That ball is definitely hittable, and he's got a late blocker there. All he has to do is hit the ball cross court, and it's a kill.
Reimer that time, the back set, not to his liking. And there you go, Steve Potter getting off tonight, off the blockers.
Yeah.
And that's his spot over there.
Definitely is. He's a cross-court hitter being left-handed coming from the right side. The easy shot for him is cross-court.
So far, Romano is doing the job passing, and that time his second kill of the night.
That's a nice swing for the outside hitter there. Over the block, nice high hit, inside-out movement. If he can do that, he'll be effective.
4-3 Ball State. Bengoa to Spitznagel outside. Baxter and Oath there, but the kill goes down. Matt Wilson first of the night for him.
And Wilson will be a factor here. He will be called upon to hold some of the offense down on the left side, especially in this rotation when they try to side out here. Setters in the front row. A lot of balls are going to go to him, and he needs to be successful in this particular rotation.
First service error for Ohio State. Scott Oath on serve for Ball State. These two teams met last week, and there's Junker over the middle.
And if they pass the ball well and they leave only one middle blocker, especially the freshman there for Ball State, on Junker's going to be effective all day long, I think, and Ball State's coaching staff knows it, that the setter or whoever's in the right side position for Ball State is definitely going to have to help out with the middle blocks.
Pretty play call that time. Baxter to keep her off with the kill. Baxter, the setter, on serve at 4-3. Tim, just to finish up that point, it went 5. And Ball State.
Yeah.
See what the call is here.
Something there. Just a quick correction there for you. I believe the setter for Ball State is Eduardo.
Eduardo for Haas. Okay. Okay. You are correct. We're still playing around here. As a kill attempt good.
That's an unusual unusual play, and Ohio State is disgruntled by that because that's got to be one of their types of balls they dig up. The ball's hit high over the block. You just have to hang back there and dig that ball up and go for it.
Romano with a dink. Etherton 6'9". Comes back down, but he can stick a hand up while he's grounded.
That's the problem with tipping the ball on a person who's taller than you. They will tend to win that kind of battle.
Spitznagel, this has been going cross court.
That's a nice set. Spitznagel's doing a nice job making very hittable sets. He's got some deception happening there. Definitely giving his team some opportunities.
Bengoa is only 6 feet tall, just a freshman. Romano, the big swing from the outside. But last Friday, it went 5, and Ball State won the first 2 games in Columbus. Ohio State comes back and wins the next 2, and normally when that situation occurs, that team that won those 2 third and fourth games pretty much going to close it out. But Ball State hung in there, won 15-11, and the rally scores. Eastman puts one down.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Tim?
Well, basically, anytime 2 teams go to the 5th game in rally score, we call the rally score game, it only lasts about 10 minutes long. And it really is almost like a flip of the coin. Players will feel that way because they work for about 2 hours in regular scoring to get to a 5th game, and it's like a toss of the coin. So as soon as you make it to the 5th game, you'll probably be able to figure that either team can win, and you know that you'll be able to beat the other team. Even if you lose that particular match, the next time you know you are capable of beating the other team.
Service error for Reimer. That's the 4th service error. On serve now is Eastman at 3-5. Bad pass, one of the first we've seen from Romano. What a play that was. I want to talk about some top spin.
Yeah, that ball definitely needs to be blocked. I'm not sure we got a replay on that, but I think it went between the 2 blockers. You definitely have to block a ball like that. You're not going to be able to dig it.
And another service error. It's number 5.
Both teams kind of stagnant here in an ability to score points in bunches.
Reimer outside, Bengoa with the up. And back, 2-man block still alive. We have someone in the net.
Yeah, Oath I think is in the net. And that was a nice hit because the ball is a bit of a trap set, not really, but it's pretty tight. And in that situation, you want to hit high off the hands, which is exactly what he did.
Haas just has to dump it. Etherton gets rid of it. Junker falling down now. They've got a free middle. Junker gets back up, but not in time to keep her off. Able to put it down right over Junker.
Now, Junker made a nice pass, but he didn't pass the ball high enough for himself to get himself into the offense. Consequently, was late and didn't really get a great attack out of it.
Junker. To Romano. And right now, the size of Ohio State hurting them just a little bit at the net. Romano and Reimer and Etherton, they're a pretty tall lineup there, and you have Scott Oath too.
Yeah, if Ball State's going to dig as many balls as Ohio State, Ball State's going to win this match because their height's going to take over at the net. And this is that rotation we were talking about. Wilson's just got to be successful with that particular hit. And they get stuck in this rotation, at least in the past they have. Could be a deciding factor in the match.
Oath on serve at 7-4. They're really working Bengoa over. Potter finds it a little off speed. Reimer lets it go. Finds the corner.
Yeah, he's doing a little wishing there, hoping that ball's going out of bounds, but definitely a great shot. Let it go, and it was in. Nice serve.
Kieferoff.
Junker's definitely not in this game. That was a pretty weak approach by Phil, the middle for Ball State, and Junker went with him. I can't believe it. He should have gone outside because there's no way that Phil would have been able to hit the ball with any kind of pace whatsoever.
Bengoa, Reimer spins, it turns, gets it up. Now a chance for Spitznagel, turned aside at the net. That's Etherton and the keeper off.
Timeout here for Ohio State as they collect their thoughts. Want to stop the bleeding at this point. 8-4 is the score for Ball State.
Neither team has grabbed the momentum yet. Good timeout for Pete Hansen. And we'll take the timeout right here, too, to tell you about College Cable Access Program Guide. It provides information about our programming, including IPFW Sports Telecast. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to Channel 6 at IPFW. 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805, or call us at 481-6000. That also includes international soccer, I believe, every Sunday as well. The World Cup lurking in the near future. Might want to check that out. It's free. The team grabbing the momentum right now. It just sort of seems that both teams a little tentative at the net as far as the block goes. Ohio State plays that though a little bit. They'll play off the net, play for the tips.
Yeah, again, Ohio State being the shorter team needs to raise their level of intensity. And if they'll do that, they'll get back in this match. But if they're going to play at this kind of pace, they're just going to go down the tubes in a world of hurry.
This is for Haas. Eduardo for Haas is a freshman. Bengoa. Nikiforov with the block. Etherton assisting, but Nikiforov, that should be a solo out there.
It's a nice job there by recognizing where that particular set's going. Just a nice seal on the line there.
Ooh, that one just misses. And now we have a service error for every one of the players on the Ball State floor. 6 service errors. And keep that up. You can't give this Ohio State team too many chances like that.
No, you're going to be in trouble.
Reimer off the fingertips. Eastman was out there with Spitznagel.
Definitely nice high shot. He seems to be in the swing of things here. It's interesting to watch him and his attitude out here tonight. Sometimes he tends to get on his fellow players. That gets them in big trouble in a world of hurry.
Spitznagel giving it up. Did Bengoa miss? He did. Now, one of the raps on Reimer, he's a very emotional player, and sometimes you can get to him. Take him out of the game a little bit. 7th service error.
Now they have some errors, but I think they're serving at a pace that allows them to get a decent number of quality block chances. By that I mean they're not allowing Ohio State to just pass consistently right to the target by serving easy, which is going to allow them to get their double block up. And when they get the double block up, they're going to beat the shorter team.
Bengoa, I believe that's kill number 2 for Bengoa. Reimer off quickly, has at least 6 unofficially. 5-10. Spitznagel with a service error. Step up.
Yeah, you know, this place that they've run that a couple times and he's not been successful. I'm kind of wondering why he keeps doing that play set. He's got 2 tall blockers on him right there. Got to change the offense. They got to run some different patterns.
Eastman misses. That was a tough angle over the middle. He's a little too tight into the net that time. Spitznagel wanted him to approach it a little differently. And Ohio State using the last time out. It's 12-5 in game 1. Ball State out in front.
Yeah, you know, at this point, Ohio State has to get more intense.
Okay, Tim, I thought you were going to finish that point. But hey, we'll go to this right now. Boys and girls ages, or grades 5 through 12 rather, are invited to attend one of the IPFW instructional volleyball training camps July 11th through the 28th here at the Hillier Gate Sports Center. IPFW men's volleyball coach Arnie Ball and women's coach Tim Heffron, otherwise known as Mr. Volleyball. Past and present IPFW players and local high school coaches will conduct high-intensity training that emphasizes all of the basics of volleyball. For more information on how to register, call 481-6643. And Phil.
You might want to watch. If Phil gets an ace here, he's going to do a little dance, and I wonder, you know, if they can get a shot of that. I'm not sure, but
into the net that time underneath for Haas.
If Phil gets an ace on a serve, he's going to do a little dance back there.
He did that against IPFW, and it was really pretty funny. I mean, you get Noodle out there and Etherton, and
quite a combo.
Romano straight down. Bengoa running to the position. And we talked about how big this Ball State team is. Romano 6'5", Reimer 6'6", Etherton 6'9", and Oath 6'5". Contrast, Ohio State, the tallest player out there, Jay Eastman, is 6'5". Potter can't save it. Yes, he does. Into the bench, back out. Ball State, golden opportunity. Into the net was Potter. He got up into the net on the way up. What's this over here, Tim?
Ball is out, side out Ohio State.
Well, I think what happened was the ball hit the top of the antenna, and then that made the net move, in which Pat, top official, thought Ohio State was in the net, and actually what happened was
the ball was
went
in the
out
antenna.
of bounds first.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try and eavesdrop as much as we can, as much as we legally can, without getting in trouble tonight on the up officials.
And I think the out of bounds, the ball hitting the antenna happened before Ohio State went into the net.
And the Pancakes without syrup that time. It's a new substitution, Mark Zemeska. Got the pronunciation guides here. I didn't see him, and here's Robert Tolliver out of Northside coming in. Romano going to get a break.
This is rather interesting. Romano's playing pretty well. I think he's just doing an excellent job hitting outside, going over around the block. I'm not sure I would be taking him out at this point.
Big swing for Potter on the outside off the keeper off.
So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Tolly sees some
a lot of serves. A lot of serves coming at him. Let's see if Potter goes to him.
Potter definitely not in this match yet. Frustrated with his teammates, frustrated with himself.
Another substitution. Robert Poliza coming in. Backcourt specialist. He's going to go back to serve. Junker block. Spitznagel slide and dive, empty-handed. 13-5.
And once again, they're stuck in their worst rotation. Just can't seem to get out of this. Say it's going to be a short serve. Yes.
Potter comes up the field, going outside. That's Wilson blocked. Etherton resetting. Two-man block. That was going out of bounds, I believe.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from our angle. But Ball State attempts to play it, and it becomes inbounds in a world of hurry there.
Matt Wilson on serve at 5-13. Haas tries the dink. Bengoa, that's what we saw a lot of when IPFW played Ohio State. He was just at all angles putting everything down here. He's underneath the ball. Look at that. Reaches back and gets it.
Yeah, they're just looking for some momentum for the next game. I'm not necessarily sure they can win this particular game, but they've got to get in system. Got to get feeling good about themselves, get some confidence going into the next game. So they're going to need to win the next game.
Spitznagel was there. The block went right between his arms. Ball State on serve at 13-6 in game number 1, best of 5. Junker.
Yeah, that's a bit of a throw there. He caught the ball underneath it and went over the top of it. Usually if if you go straight ahead, you'll be okay. But he actually got underneath it and then over the top, and Pat's not going to let that go on too much longer.
Bengoa, that's game one. Reimer putting the block down. It was not a roof, but just as effective. 15-6. Game number one score. Ball State out. And what we thought was going to be a war right now is not even a skirmish at this point.
No, it's pretty one-sided here, and Bengoa has not been successful whatsoever with tipping the ball. At this point, he needs to get back on hitting the ball hard and firing his team up.
15-6, game number one score. We'll be back with game two action right after this timeout.
Championship volleyball. Dig it. May 6th and 7th, catch all the action as the men's NCAA championship volleyball tournament comes to the Memorial Coliseum. The top collegiate teams in the nation will slam, jam, block, and save on their way bidding for the top spot in the nation. Don't miss top-ranked men's volleyball at its best. The NCAA Men's Championship Tournament at the Memorial Coliseum, May 6th and 7th. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations and the Coliseum ticket office. Hurry, they're going fast.
How can you find out when lightning may strike? And how do you count the fish in the sea? How can you tell if a child is growing normally, if baseball is getting better, or traffic is getting worse? How do you know about stock market trends, the risk of cholesterol, the history of witchcraft, or the future of spacecraft? With statistics, that's how. And how can you find out about statistics? With the new Statistics series, Against All Odds.
Tim did. And thank you. Back here at the Mastodons, Ball State up 1-0 over Ohio State.
Tim, during that break there, you talk about the rotation that gives Ohio State problems. Why don't you diagram, do a little X and an Owen for us right now?
Well, in the particular rotation I'm talking about, the setter for Ohio State is left front, and Junker is middle front, and Wilson is the right front person. And what they do is they go into a stack, and basically they have only two hitting options, and Potter is left with back row, and Potter's not hitting back row, and that means a lot of balls are going outside to Wilson. He's not successful at this point. Ohio State's having trouble getting out of that.
Okay, caught up with Ohio State coach Pete Hansen earlier, and he knew that Ball State was going to be very tough at the net. Spoke with him, and he told us what the keys to the game were going to be.
I think both teams are real even. We certainly play a pretty similar style, although I'd say Ball State obviously has a little size advantage. With moving Romano to the outside hitting position, I think they were really looking to kind of bolster their left side attack. The thing that I think are keys for us, we got to do a better job of serving those guys, playing better court defense, which we kind of broke down a little bit at our place. Last Friday in the first two games, we felt we had some chances to take those first two games and just didn't get it done. And then we came back and won the next two. And Ball State didn't play that poorly, but our kids raised their level of play. And as you know, in that fifth game, anything can happen. We made a couple of crucial errors, and Ball State played a real nice fifth game. So if it gets to that point, it's anybody's match tonight. Obviously, we'd like to see it end a little quicker than that in favor of us, but I expect it'll be a good close match.
Okay. Well, Pete Hansen now is realizing that if it goes to a fifth game, that would be in his favor right now. His team has got to turn it around, Tim.
Definitely, they need a shot of adrenaline in a bad way here. They're just flat as all can be.
Same lineup: Matt Wilson, Steve Potter, number 2, has got to do it from the back row on the outside. Jay Eastman, John Junker, Adam Spitznagel, and Jose Bengoa for Ohio State. That is the lineup. Ball State, same lineup as well. That's Romano. This is for Haas, setting Reimer. Eastman with a lift that time, and he did sort of double hit that one. And we're seeing errors from this Ohio State team that we don't normally see.
Exactly.
And you're seeing balls hit the floor.
Yeah,
You don't see that in the backcourt.
It's
of
very
Ohio State team.
uncharacteristic. Very uncharacteristic. They're known as a ball control team. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. That's their trait, and they're doing that right now. They just don't have a prayer. As you can see here, they have no offense. Everybody knew that ball was going to the middle because the outside hitter was down on the floor and the setter's front row. Back row is not happening at this point for Ohio State, so it becomes a real one-dimensional game as far as blocking for Ball State. Even I could be a blocker then.
Woohoo! Tim Heffron, 6 feet. Very swell, I'm sure. The opportunity to be given to you. Wilson cannot chase that one down. Coach Ball would like to hear that. He would like to see you do a little blocking in team practices, I imagine.
Hell, not anymore.
This is Romano on serve. That was an excellent knuckler. Potter and Reimer coming in to close the gap on the dink, and it goes off the fingertips the other way. Tim, I really think if you're Ohio State, you wanted to try and get Junker involved. He got shut down in the middle immediately. I'd go to Jose Bengo on the outside.
I would too.
He's one of your best athletes, if not the best athlete that you have.
You definitely go out there, and as a coach, you tell him, don't even think about tipping the ball. I want you to hit that thing every time.
Eastman went up with it.
Yeah, he went up with the setter, thinking the setter was going to dump it, apparently, and easy kill for,
For Haas sort of tipped him off, sort of gave him a little deception there, dipping his shoulder. There's been going cross court. What an angle. Time hit it very softly too. He was coming down when he hit that ball below the midline.
Yeah, that ball really should have been dug for a person of Reimer's caliber. He should dig that ball.
Facial, the keeper off, serving one.
Yeah, that's called no man's land there. You can't be standing in the middle of the court. You're going to catch one right in the face. You need to either be up near the block to catch the tips or back where you can actually have a prayer at digging the ball. But if you're sitting 15 feet from the net, you're asking for trouble.
No, Steve Potter did not close it down either. And there's a block that was not over the net far enough. Eastman laying his hands back. A little Drano action straight down to the floor. Ball State on top 2-0. There's a floater. Potter is really.
And Potter looking for some help. He's saying, why isn't somebody telling me if that ball's in or out? Well, I think he just needs to do it himself. He knows obviously the ball's in, and you can't be blaming anybody else for your own mistakes there. You need to be a leader.
Oh, what a pretty set that was by Spitznagel. That had all the earmarks of a timeout coming up. Potter with a bad pass. Spitznagel saves it one-handed, and Eastman catches a line.
Potter is one of the leaders, the team leaders on Ohio State, and he can't be looking at anybody else to blame. He's got to be taking that kind of responsibility on top of himself, and not only doing well himself, but helping other teams to do the same thing. Helping the other teammates.
Okay, we got it.
Had some kind of violation. I didn't see it.
Boy, that's a big play. Wilson put down the overpass with authority. Ball into the net. Catches the corner, so same end result anyway as Ohio State sides out.
Yeah, Ball State's just going about their business like it's just another day at work here.
Reimer now, 2 to get it over. For Haas going outside, Romano in tight.
He tried for a real radical angle shot there, just didn't even come close to coming up with it. I think he was probably going off more of the hands, as you can see here, than anything.
This is Reimer up by Bengo, 1 to get it over. Eastman just getting a little Pete Rose type action in.
Yeah.
You know you can't get that one, but you got to slide anyway to save
Sliding
your
into third there, head first, and
Etherton just misses.
almost saw that dance.
Folks, you'll want to see it. I could say something, but we'll probably get in trouble, so I'll let it go. It's 1-3. Ohio State on serve. Potter gets it up. Wilson out of the back row. 3 up, 1 to get it over. Potter swinging off the fingertips. For Haas setting. This is Romano. 2-man block. Goes right over it.
It hits the beam.
Wilson ups it, but it hits the beam overhead. And now the pace beginning to pick up a little bit, at least on that point. Some quick transitional plays.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Ohio State, they made some digs, but they didn't really make any strong attacks out of the thing. They really didn't go after it like they wanted the point. And they just have to do that. Every transition chance they have to go at it like it's their last gasp of air. Because really, this is it. I mean, if you lose this match, your season's done.
Solid swing for Junker in the middle.
That's going to be wide open because I don't think the let's see, I think we had a freshman in there blocking, and they will generally give up that cross-the-body shot by a middle hitter and force them to hit that.
Heading arrow, the set was there. Reimer just long with it. 2-3, Junker on serve. Did that make it over the net? It didn't.
No, yeah. And Pat saw it that way too. It wasn't even close to making it over the net.
3-3, and Ohio State down 3-0. Almost had a chance. It was a poor pass by Potter to go down 4-0, but they fight back, and now Oath missing. And here's the Ohio State team that we know, and perhaps here's the match we expected.
I would expect Reimer to see this next ball outside, or it's going to go back row here.
Well, they couldn't do that. 2-man block because of the great serve. Eastman with great penetration had the hands well over the net.
And that's all set up by the serve. It did not allow the Ball State setter to adequately get in position to back set the ball. And so he had to go outside. The blockers knew he had to go outside. Easy stuff.
Stick around. We'll have the IPFW Lewis game about 25 minutes after this match. And tomorrow night, Channel 6 will have live coverage of the championship match, 7:30 at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. If you can't be here, and it's starting to fill up right now, we've got a pretty good crowd on hand. You can catch all the action in the MIVA championship match right here on Channel 6. And, of course, you can listen to the insightful, superb commentary of Tim Heffron.
Well, I don't know about that there, Paul, but... I just call it as I see it, and sometimes that's not the proper thing to do.
Yes. Not only for the censors, but sometimes the coaches don't appreciate your directness as well.
Yeah, I just call it like I see it, and it's hard. Of course, being a coach, you just want to coach a lot, and this TV business is a little more political, as they would say.
Woo! Big block, Spitznagel and Eastman, and Eastman is starting to do the job.
Yeah, this next ball has got to go to Reimer. You know, if I'm Ohio State, I guess that Reimer gets this ball, and I just load up on him. Another short, here it comes. There it comes.
Reimer, 2-man block, that's 6-0. Jose Bengoa teaming up with Eastman. And Ohio State starting to roll it. We're going to have a substitution. Romano and Tolliver coming out. Romano hangs his head. I don't really understand the substitution.
Well, it's basically the revolving door theory, I think. And that is, the idea is to break the momentum by substituting. Also change your chemistry on your team at the same time. Just trying to change something. Do something to change, make the other team think about what they want to do next instead of continuing on with what they're doing. And it worked right there.
Right, Tolliver takes a pass, and I guess simple enough that you want to get Romano out of there. He had a couple of bad passes. Eastman blocked at the net. Comes right back. Reimer, was it inbounds? Misses wide. Reimer sort of bailed out there.
Yeah, and Ohio State needs to side out immediately. As soon as they make a run like that, they need to side out immediately and establish themselves in a side-out game. Because they are now up. At that point, they were 7-3. Now it's 7-5. Spitznagel's not been successful or even remotely close to being successful with that dump shot. He's just got to set his hitters at this point.
He's got to look, too, out of the corner of his eye. He's sort of made up his mind, made the decision up while he's going up in the air that he's going to do that. Keeperov has been shadowing him.
That's a pretty nice dig there by the freshman in the back court there, because that hit had some smoke on it.
And I'll tell you, Bengoa is starting to heat it up. If he gets hot, They might not need Potter. They can ride Bengoa for a game or two.
They can, but it's awful tough to ride one player for a whole match. You can do it for a game or two or whatever, but to do it for a whole match, rely on one person, usually a person will get, they will be out of gas by that fourth game.
Adam Spitznagel, the center. He's just a sophomore. Tough pass.
They're in.
Boy, big opportunity.
Potter.
And Potter misses. What an opportunity.
Oh, yeah, it's just a great opportunity to score a point. And as a senior, you just got to nail that ball cross court. Why he's going down the line, I have no clue. Just nail that ball cross court. They're in a scramble over there anyway. They're out of position.
Here we go. Eastman calling for it, and Spitznagel called for a lift. And we've had a game of runs right here in game number 2. 3-0 Ball State was out. 7 straight points for Ohio State, and now 3 straight for Ball State to close it to 6-7. Scott Oath on serve. Spitznagel, this is the Potter.
Why he doesn't do that from the very first point, I'm not sure, because that's the first time I think I've seen him hit cross court for a kill that I can remember.
They need him bombing, and they especially need him out of the back row. This is Bengoa on serve. Tolliver, tough pass, Etherton. Bengoa sucked up. Junker was not playing his position either.
That was a great set, just a great set.
There's another look.
Yeah, you know, and the middle blocker should know better. It's not his ball to block, it's the left side's ball to block. And if he goes up with the middle, then everything's covered. But if you go off on your individual way there and don't play team defense, they will be in trouble real quickly. Nice serve. That's a good serve.
Serving the seam, Tolliver's up with it. Reimer puts it down over Junker. And Junker comes in here. He's the guy that has to lead Ohio State on the block. 1.5 each game, and he has not done it tonight. They're getting great blocking from Jay Eastman on the outside. He's number 3 on the team in blocks, just about 1-2 a game. Wilson off the block. For Haas, chasing it down. Tolliver, Bengoa up with it. Spitznagel chasing. This is Potter. Etherton with those long arms, continuing on it. One more time, Etherton. He's got those long claws. He just reaches over the net even when he's at the net.
Yeah.
Just grounded on the floor. He's still, I bet he can reach over that net, no problem.
I'm sure he can. It's kind of a tip fest there. Everybody wanted to get the tip kill, and it wasn't working out.
Potter, good serve.
That's a pretty good set there.
Tolliver just missing.
That was a very good set, and Tolly's really got to smack that ball because that was a great opportunity.
Well, perhaps another run here.
Yeah, him being a substitution, usually substitutes don't get to make very many mistakes. They've got to come in and raise the level of the game on their side. That's their job, you know. They can't make mistakes like a starter can make mistakes.
Simple play that time, too. You see Tolliver choosing cross court. When he misses down the line, should the blockers sort of input that information, be aware that...
Oh, definitely. They've got to think, hey, next time he's going to hit that ball cross court.
Into the net, Reimer, and there we see the childish antics.
Just
that keeps him away from being, I mean, he's a great talent.
Yeah, he's got to maintain his composure. Ball State is not what you call a high intense type, emotional, yell at each other type of team. And he's got to play within that kind of framework. Whereas IPFW is kind of the opposite, and they're very emotional, and they love emotion. Good or bad, they just thrive on that kind of thing. And it's all goes back to team culture, maybe starts with the head coaches. Both head coaches are kind of that same way, and you have to play within the team culture.
And here we go, Reimer. Haven't seen a lot of him this game. And into the net.
And go into the net. Ohio State still has a lead here at 8-6. It's kind of a side-out duel at this point.
Boy, a terrible pass from Bengoa. And a two-man put down. blockhead all day to set up on that one.
Yeah, important note here, though, is Bengoa cannot afford to tip a ball just because he gets blocked. He's got to go back to swinging at the ball hard.
That's the second time we've had a poor pass for Spitznagel, and Bengoa jumps right over Spitznagel.
Gets the wind knocked out of him, I think, as they collide.
Yeah, he caught Spitznagel's shoulder in the diaphragm area. Waves it off. Tied at 8 now. Tolliver on serve. Mixing it up nicely that time, Bowen and Potter. Got to dump it over. Reimer does. Potter in position. Outside two-man block up. Etherton comes up with it, but it's into an overhang.
Pretty nice shot by Bengoa, because he's kind of aching still, I think, a little bit. And referee says don't pound the ball into the floor like that, or next time we get a card, and that kind of thing. But
two very good referees tonight. They're going to give both teams a lot of leeway.
Yeah, they are.
Understand this is.
They're going to let the players decide this. They're not going to become a deciding factor in the game, and that's what officials should do. Too many times in volleyball, the official wants to become part of the game. They want to control everything. They want to call all these lifts and doubles and things like that, especially at the lower levels in the high school and junior high levels. They do that just way too much, and don't let the kids play the game.
A lift by Spitznagel, and Ohio State capitalizing, regaining the lead at 9-8 into the ball game now. Jeff Higson.
And that ball was a lift. You know, and it should be called at this type of level, but I'm not so sure that kind of set out of a young kid who's 10 years old should be called at all. I mean, the kid's learning the game, that kind of thing. You got to let them play.
9-8, Ball State on top in game number 2. After winning game number 1, 15-6, we're going to take a break as well. Be back with more MIVA playoff action.
Championship Volleyball. Dig it. May 6th and 7th, catch all the action as the men's NCAA Championship Volleyball Tournament comes to the Memorial Coliseum. The top collegiate teams in the nation will slam, jam, block, and save on their way bidding for the top spot in the nation. Don't miss top-ranked men's volleyball at its best. The NCAA Men's Championship Tournament at the Memorial Coliseum, May 6th and 7th. Tickets available at all Ticketmaster locations and the Coliseum ticket office. Hurry, they're going fast.
Jeff Higson was on serve at 9-8, and Tim, during the timeout there, you made another good point that Ball State has made this little run without Greg Romano.
Yeah, he's sitting on the bench there, and turns out to be an excellent substitution by Shondell, putting Tolley into the game, calming the passing down a little bit, and Phil's holding up his end of the bargain in the middle. So, hey, don't fool with success. If you're on a roll, let him play.
Etherton on the side out. For Haas.
There it is. I mean, it's wide open every time. That was against Romano and Phil. They're two tallest players and best jumps probably, and he just bangs that ball cross court, and it's going to go down for a kill.
Tolliver up with it for Haas. Keeper off. Did he go off the fingertips? No, missing.
Yeah, that's a pretty predictable play there. Obviously, they had 3 blockers up on it. Anytime you get 3 blockers up, it's pretty hard to hit the ball as hard as you want. You're more likely to have to go for a roll shot or a tip shot.
Inside, Potter turns it inside. Where does Reimer go this time? Up. Still alive. Junker got a piece of it too. Tied at 9, back on serve is Paul Nikiforov. Junker with the dink, up with it for Haas.
He's getting a little tight on the net on his approach. That's a sign of fatigue. Getting too tight to the net, which makes it impossible to set you as a setter. He's got to work on staying off there.
Kill attempt by Tolliver. Look, he had really no choice but to go where he went. And Eastman not able to cover up.
There it is again, cross court. Drano. I'm not so sure that he shouldn't see a few more balls now that he's starting to get the swing of it and realizes the cross court is open.
Tim, Potter adjusts in the air. He doesn't give away where he's going. He adjusts in the air. Are the blockers able to adjust at that point as well, or is it too late?
It's pretty much too late. The last adjustment a blocker can make is with their arms. They can reach to the side, that kind of thing.
Ball still in play, Todd.
Other than that, once they've jumped, they're pretty limited as far as moving to a completely different person as far as stopping a cross court versus a line shot.
That's Reimer. Another kill attempt on him. Boy, we've lost count. He's had the most attempts at Ball State and the most kills. It's a good talent. Scott Oath back in the lineup.
Go with Etherton on the serve. Let's see what kind of, if he can get that ace in here. No, he's still serving him long. 10-10 is a score. It's a perfect opportunity for Ohio State to establish themselves as Ball State seems to be kind of in a quandary here, and Shondell feels that and wants to put in some defensive specialists to shake things up, get that high intense dig, get things back on a roll.
Had a very big lineup in there. Beliza comes in. He's a backcourt specialist. He comes in. He's only 6 feet tall. Etherton not as mobile in the back row.
Beautiful set. A little confusion there for OSU and just have to dump it over.
Tolliver down the line.
Yeah, and Tolliver, that again, he's
in the net. Spitznagel into the net.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's
Spada Salvatore on the call. Pete Hansen doesn't go for it.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Boy, that's a crucial point.
Yeah, it is, because Tolliver has just made the same mistake over. The same thing Potter's trying to do is hit down the line, and it's not working. He's got to go cross court. Tolliver's got to go cross court.
Reimer on serve, a good one. Bengoa goes down the line. Oh, I thought he painted that one. Spitznagel wanting a tip, and now it's 11-10 Ball State. Critical point of the match right here. Just check it out. We can see if this one hit the line. No, you can catch it on that angle.
It certainly is. It's gone from 11-10 from one team to the other team, and I'm not sure OSU can handle that mentally. We'll find out here.
Great opportunity for Ohio State. Bengoa with the dink, waste one. Oath going to reset. This is Tolliver. He dinks and misses.
Yeah. And Tolliver cannot go down the line. Tolliver should not be tipping the ball. He should be hitting the ball cross court. Bengoa, don't tip the ball. Potter, hit the ball cross court. These things are happening over and over again, and when you're at this level as a player, it's just amazing to me that you can't figure that out for yourself.
And it's really sort of a bailout to tip the ball rather than swing away. Take that chance to swing away when you're that tight. But the payoff is so much better.
Oh, it is.
Potter from the back row, down the pipe. 10-11 Ohio State. Second service error.
An awful serve. They're looking for somebody to lead them, OSU is just looking for somebody to step up.
Well, they did it with the block on that mini run. They got out 7 straight points to turn a 3-0 deficit into a 7-3 lead. Potter up by Tolliver. Etherton setting. Keeper off.
Now they could have. Oh, they called net again.
Oh man, let's see if we can pick this up.
Net, guys, I don't have to call anything.
Adam Spitznagel going over to talk with the up official. Couldn't really tell from that angle. It's a second big palm against Ohio State into the net.
OSU shooting themselves in the foot in a big way here.
There it is.
There it is. Reimer can't handle it. I'm not sure anybody can handle it. OSU cannot shoot themselves in the foot. Play within yourself. Don't try to overdo it.
It's not a great blocking rotation. Eastman in there. Potter as well was into the net. I thought he was that time. That they don't call it.
Yeah, the ball kind of ricocheted off the top of the net into his hand, and that's why it sort of looks like the net's waving rapidly, and it looks as though he's actually in it. But he wasn't.
Still up Straight up by Wilson.
It's just a great play. You got to get a swing out of that. Bengoa, of all people, should be up there hitting that ball, and Potter's not ready to go either. Again, uncharacteristic by Ohio State. They should have gotten a swing the first time, and Potter's got to bring an easy ball up the next time.
Tim, what's the most important thing when you're in transition to be prepared? What does a player have to do?
As soon as you get in transition, all other players, with the exception of the setter, have to think about hitting the ball. They have to get, no matter if you're back row, front row, you have to make yourself available for the setter or whoever is going to set the ball.
Potter down the line. Tolliver unable to come up.
You know, as soon as a team gets a dig, the rest of the players, other than the person who's going to set it, have to think, I'm going to hit the ball. I've got to get in position to hit the ball. I got to get approach in. I got to get off the net. I got to do something to be ready to, because the ball's going to, it needs to be hit by somebody. And in transition, you're not always able to set anywhere you particularly want to. Sometimes you're forced to set a particular person.
Zemeska in now. Jay Eastman takes a break in the back row. He'll be back in when Zemeska moves to the front. Etherton off speed. Great opportunity. Here's Potter, one-on-one block. And that time Reimer sort of adjusted his hands at the net.
He did.
Gave him the line, took away the cross court.
He did in a certain way. The set was low and inside. So, you know, it's not the best. He doesn't have all the options in the world available to him there based on that particular set. Like that set, he's got more options.
Good call, Tim, and the players understand that. I mean, Reimer understands when he sees where the set's at. That's part of the blocking mentality.
Yeah, and you know, Potter doesn't take that personally, and the setter, Spitznagel, knows it's his fault. You know, that's not readily available to our viewers, but sometimes that's the case. Somebody makes an error, and it's not really their fault. It's the player before them or something of that sort.
Well, we haven't seen that play. A shoot 31 right over the net. Less than a foot off of it, Phil Etherton. And there's Potter. He is starting to heat it up a little bit.
He is, and he needs to. Bengoa is doing all he can, but it's not enough by himself. Potter's got to be a major force here. 12-11 Ball State at this point.
Matt Wilson on serve. The bad news for everybody in the MIVA conference is Reimer is only a junior.
Yeah, he'll be back, and he will be very damaging to most folks. You got to get up and hit that ball. That's just amazing.
We had a player into the net, I believe it was for us.
But Junker's standing there. He's a front row player. He's a middle hitter, which makes him able to get off the ground quickly. And he's standing there watching that overpass come right over by him. Just amazing. You know, and the coaches over there, I saw them. They're talking to him. Hey, get up there and bang that ball.
Sam Herrero in on serve. Back in Eastman as well. And Eastman failing to cover up that time. Up a little late. Tolliver with the put down.
Tolly's just done a nice job. He's just got to remember, hit cross court. Hit cross court.
He's getting a lot of sets. You can see that Romano would be getting a lot of sets in that offense. Boy, straight down the pipe, Steve Potter.
Potter's starting to see the ball front row, back row. He's getting involved here. That's going to open up the rest of the players.
And he's really the only threat, the consistent threat out of the back row. Bengoa hits somewhat, but Potter is by far and away the most successful out of the back row for Ohio State.
Definitely. Potter is the one who's going to have to do it.
Shanked by Tolliver. He had to call his own number. And now Nikiforov. Spitznagel, great get by him. Potter swinging away. There it is, Tim. No dink attempt that time. Clutch play.
Clutch play, great cross-court shot. It's just a terrific play by Ohio State. That'll raise their level. And as you can see there, it was a great shot. They've got it 12-12. They're starting to pick up the intensity. This is where they need another one of those blocks.
And a service there for Spitznagel.
To serve.
Potter blocked by Nikiforov and Etherton.
Yeah, Ball State coming right back for a point. They're up now 13-12. Score is 1-0.
15-6, Ball State the winners in game number 1. Bengoa. Slide behind, might have been a push by Nikiforov. Ohio State certainly wanted it. Pete Hansen beside himself because now this is game 2 coming up right here. He's going to take a timeout. Ball State will be serving for the second game.
And Ohio State's upset. They think that that Ball State threw the ball when the outside hitter set the ball to the setter.
Let's see if we can pick this up, Tim. A little too late next time.
Timeout by OSU here. That's what they're talking about is Ohio State's been called on a couple questionable throws, and Ball State has maybe gotten away a little more than Ohio State has, and that's what Ohio State's talking about in the huddle right now. They want to calm it down a little bit. 14-12 the score is game point. You know, they need a solid play right here, obviously, with game point on the line. I think they'll probably set Potter if they have an opportunity to.
Tim, should this game go to Ball State, what does that do for Ohio State? I mean, sure, you came back in your own building, but the way they're playing tonight.
They've got to, unless they increase game 3 by the same margin they've increased game 2 from game 1, they're out of this, and their season will end. Because Ball State's able to step it up when Ohio State has been able to step it up.
Scott Oath on serve, and who are they going to serve to? Bengoa, Potter? They're trying to bait him into serving to Wilson a little bit.
They'll probably serve Potter. I would serve Potter. Yeah, and that's
Bengoa comes up and gets it. Not a great serve. Great opportunity for Haas. Setting Reimer. What a big block. Eastman.
That was a great block, and they were trying to serve Potter short, but Bengoa, knowing that, runs right up there and takes it. It's a great play.
Bengoa on serve, 12-14. Kieferoff.
Oh, well, see, that's the lift they were talking about. That they, you kind of complain enough to the referees, see, and then eventually you get a call later on is kind of the technique.
That's the strategy, huh?
Yeah.
You'd never tell.
Oh, I would never tell anybody to do that, or have done that myself in my career, either as a coach or a player.
And this time Eastman can't turn it inside, right between Eastman and Potter. Kieferoff, and another swing attempt, perhaps for Ball State to put game 2 away. 14-13, Eduardo for Haas on serve. Potter off the fingertips, still alive, 2 to get it over. Etherton setting Reimer. Wow, he's just missing.
Yeah, Reimer's had a couple shots here at game point and gotten blocked once and sent one a little long out of the back row.
He hasn't had, to be fair to him, not the greatest opportunities as well.
No,
they've been tough sets.
Yeah, everybody knows where the ball's going there because they were transition plays, and they had double blocks up. But nonetheless, he's capable. I think he's very capable of going over, around, through, whatever, a shorter team.
Third time a charm, he dinks it now. A brilliant opportunity. Wilson capitalizes. 3 straight times they went to Reimer.
It's just amazing that Reimer's not been successful in his last 5 attempts, and Shondell knows it, takes Reimer out, puts Paul Baxter in, basically their number 3 outside hitter. Paul's into the game. He's not going to see the ball. He's cold. The ball's either got to go to Phil or to Nikiforov on the right side, and Pete's just talked to Potter and told him about that, and you'll see Potter move in on this particular block.
Wilson was there, but Nikiforov wipes it off the hands. 14-14, your score in game 2. Nikiforov back on serve. Potter slide behind. Gutty call that time.
And again, that time he hit an opposite cross court. Usually he's hitting from the right side that time, more the left side of the court. As long as he hits angles, he's going to do fine. So you can see right there, a nice cross court shot. That's what he needs to do. This ball's going outside, definitely.
Up with it, Eastman. Out of bounds.
Once again, Paul's into the game as more of a calming factor. He's not going to see the ball on an offensive chance here unless it has to go to him. So, as Ohio State can do, they can load up on those other two hitters.
Potter getting fingers or into the net?
I think we've got a net.
We do.
Tolliver
that would be Tolliver into the net.
Yeah,
wow.
That's a big, another big play.
That was another game point for Ball State.
Yeah, as you got 14-14, that was a chance to get ahead here. There's a nice play. They're in trouble. They're in big trouble. Nice play by Paul.
Paul Baxter going into the stands trying to save that one. Edward.
Excellent hustle. Nice work.
And all of a sudden, game two, the opportunities you see for Haas trying to get it up inside the antenna. Game two, timeout being called by Don Shondell. He doesn't want this one to get away. 15-14 Ohio State.
And if you're
after this timeout, will be serving.
If you're OSU, you're trying to figure out who's going to get the ball in what particular play for Ball State and load up on the blocks. Take a chance, get two blockers on the most likely candidate to get a swing for Ball State and take your opportunities there.
Now, the substitution patterns have really worked well for Pete Hansen. He took John Yunker out, number 10, who is the main man on the block. There's a shot of Lauren Jeber, a assistant coach under IPFW head coach Arnie Ball. Former IPFW great as well. What a great player he was. But get back to that point, Hansen took a couple players out, Yunker, and took Eastman out, gave him a little blow. Those two guys are the guys that are going to have to get it done at the net. They really have to block, and both have come up big here in this run by Ohio State.
And right now you're going to see Oath get the ball or Tolliver, I believe. One of those two people is going to get the ball. Slide. Bengo's got to slide in here and help with the one ball.
All right, Etherton does not hit out of the back row. Let's see, they're going to Tolliver outside, and he went down the line. They gave him that shot. They were taking away the cross court that time. Yunker and Spitznagel up for it. Potter was in position, too.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Tolliver hit the ball down the line as he's hit a couple out, but he made a nice hit out of it on game point.
Good play.
That's just automatic. When you pass the ball like that and you've got that kind of movement, you're just not going to get a decent block up on Bengoa, and he'll take you to the bank there.
Oath not able to get back up in time, not able to cover up going up with the set. Oath getting a piece of that one. Reset now, coming back outside. Bengoa tooling off Nikiforov. And that's it, 16-14, Ohio State capitalizing, doing it with blocking.
Definitely.
I think this one's going to go 5, Tim.
I think Ohio State now may feel that they have the opportunity, again, in a mental way, in a confidence type of way, to be in this match.
And remember, Greg Romano sat out most of the match, and Todd Reimer joined him at the end. We'll see those two back in the lineup for sure when we come back with Game 3, Tim.
Yeah, that may be a bit of a ploy to maybe make those players upset, make them mad, and we'll try to see what happens here. We'll be back after these messages.
Tom Lavergetta's book on electrical engineering technology is required reading at dozens of universities in America and abroad. At IPFW, students learn from the expert who wrote the book. Being a successful scholar and teacher isn't unusual at IPFW. To find out for yourself, you could check out the faculty's books. Even better, check out their classes. Call admissions today to learn how you can become a student at IPFW, where experts teach.
Children are the largest group of Americans living below the poverty line. They have to reach higher for what others take for granted. Health care, balanced meals, encouragement to learn. But with help early on, children in your community can gain the skills to get out from below the poverty line. It takes programs like Success by 6 and people like you to help them take the first step. Call to learn more. Change the world of a child, and you change the world.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. This one destined for 5, apparently. 15-6, Ball State winning the first game. Ohio State coming back to win the second, 16-14. Caught up with Coach Don Shondell, one of the winning coaches of all time, winningest coaches. He has coached Pete Hansen and Arnie Ball here. And what do you have to do against your former team is the way I posed it to Coach Shondell. And he said, really, the guy they got to look out for is Bengoa, Jose Bengoa, the 6-foot freshman out of Puerto Rico in the middle. Here's what Coach Shondell had to say about what his team needs to do to win tonight.
Essentially, you know, Bengoa's the guy that seems to have been the toughest against us the 2 matches we played. Potter, we've sort of neutralized him a little bit. We've studied his tendencies just like they've studied all our players' tendencies. And being not real tall, I think they're a little bit more limited in the fact they can't hit over any of your blockers. And that's kind of, I think, our strong suit is the fact that we're taller. And I think we'll be able to play a little stronger game at the net. And the fact that they'll probably be out digging us, I don't think there's any question about that. We just hope that some of our other shots that we're hitting over the block aren't hit right at their diggers, and we can come out okay that way.
There's a shot of the coach live, and Tim, during that spot right there, he talked about how he thought they could win the battle at the net. Ball State, they did it down in Columbus where they outblocked Ohio State 2-1, but Ohio State was doing it on the dig down there to make it go 5. Game number 2, Ohio State showing the block at the net, and that's something if they do, I really believe Ohio State's going to win this game if they block like they did.
There's absolutely no reason why Ball State should not be leading in blocks in this match. They're the taller team, and right now OSU, at least in that game, just gave them all they could handle, all they wanted as far as blocking.
Okay, familiar faces back in the lineup. Reimer on serve, number 9 Romano back out to the left outside. And there is the block for Haas and Oath combining. That's what Ball State needs to do.
Ball State.
Good numbers coming in for Oath on the night. On the block, he averages 1.7 a game. Off the fingertips, Junker that time.
Nice shot. He's back off the net. I just noticed right away here. He's back where he needs to be successful.
1-0 Ball State, and Romano on serve, side out. Approximately 25 minutes after this first contest is over, as Romano has a service error. Will be the IPFW Lewis matchup, and that promises to be entertaining. I know the IPFW players cannot wait to get it on. They had a couple of great practices, back-to-back service errors. Had a great practice this morning as well. They had a 1-hour run through yesterday, and you know Coach Ball, like you do, that's not very normal.
No.
He likes to keep his players till he's satisfied. And
yeah, he does, but he also knows and realizes that as soon as his team is playing well and they feel real good, they're real confident, they're playing with intensity, he wants to get them out and have them remember what it feels like to be intense, and not go through all that intensity where they then slow down and have them remember that instead. He wants them to finish strong.
Paul Nikiforov one-on-one. He's been solid tonight. The kill attempts that he's supposed to put down one-on-one, he has. 2-0 Ball State. This is Potter swinging.
I think an important point here is after you win an emotional game like that, it's real easy to slip and go back down emotionally and you know, get kind of drained. Actually, you can't do that because we're in the 3rd game here, and this is the pivotal game.
Service ace, Bengoa, good time to trot that out.
So OSU, as soon as they can get back on a roll here, all the better for them. Then they'll be back in their conference.
Well, you see that they want to go to Romano and get him frustrated. They like Romano out of there. Tolliver's a fine player, but Romano is very explosive. So look for them to pass to Romano as much as possible. This is for Haas on serve at 1-2. Overpass. Etherton does not put it down. The tip, Etherton did not turn and look for it.
You know, that's going to happen to freshmen. They're going to lose track of the ball in a blocking situation like that and not know where it is, whereas an experienced player kind of feels where that ball is.
Romano, they are spotting him. Eastman serving. Reimer blocked by Junker and Potter. 2-2.
One or two things happened there. Either Reimer was late on his approach or the set was too low to the outside and it caused him to hit the ball at a lower angle than he would normally hit it at. It makes it a lot easier to block.
Etherton over the middle. Potter up with it. Cannot save Nikiforov on serve at 2-2. Here's another look. It was off of Junker. Junker had his hands spread apart at the net. Junker does not use penetration as much as Eastman does at the net. A lot of play by Matt Wilson. Junker denied at the net. Wilson coming right back.
That's one of those intangible plays. You just, you know, it's just pure athletic ability and instinct, you know, just takes over and sometimes you get the breaks.
2-2 in game number 3. Another poor pass from Romano. This is Wilson. That one never got over the net. 4 hits, side out Ball State.
And people are calling for back row, but basically, when he hit that ball, part of the ball was below the top of the net, and if you're below the plane of the top of the net, you can't be called for a back row attack.
Ivan Dogal coming into the game. The 6'5" freshman out of Moscow.
Yeah, scored 2-2, very even game. There we got our first kill from Spitznagel there.
And he got a good look at it that time.
He certainly did. He went at an angle this time instead of throwing it straight ahead. Before he's been throwing it to the middle of the court, easy block. This time he goes at the sharp angle, gets the kill.
2 apiece. We've been tied for a while. Now we've got a ball rolling down the court. They'll reset that one. Going right at Romano for Haas with a beautiful set to bring it back for Oath. And Oath a little bit too far off the set that time.
Yeah, it was a beautiful set, and Oath has just got to pound that ball through the block. He's kind of a weak block, actually. No penetration. Just happened to work out for him.
Wilson with a service error. Reimer will go back on serve at 2-3.
Once again, we're at one of those side-out type of battles here, setting up. First team to get on a roll in the beginning of the game is going to get a distinct advantage.
And this slower pace plays into Ohio State's hands as Junker is successful over the middle. They're trying to establish him right now.
You know, they're kind of conserving Potter for the end of the game here if they can, you know, and use his energies then.
We have into the net.
Another net, but even though there's a net there, Reimer's getting dug an awful lot here lately.
Spitznagel jump set. Great get that time by Potter. What a play. Junker dumps it over. Now Ball State. Plenty of options. Nikiforov. Boy, he has been the saving grace for Ball State.
Sure has.
Heading well over 50%.
Real consistent. Doesn't make any mistakes. Doesn't make any receiving mistakes. Hits the ball where it's open. Just takes what the other team gives him.
Oh, beautiful set that time. Bengoa 1-on-none. Fails to put it down. Still up. What do we have? A look here?
It's a net on somebody.
Well, it's obviously against Ball State. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising, actually. As we can see it here on the replay, is the net on.
Oh, yeah, good call.
There, yeah, he just kind of ended up with his hips too far forward, pushing his chest into the net.
Reimer out of the back row. Poor swing attempt.
Yeah, it's a roll shot, basically, was what that was. He didn't feel real confident with his approach on that particular set, so elected to roll the ball instead of really pound it and end up maybe sailing the ball.
Tied at 3. Scott Oath on serve in game 3. 1 apiece in games as well. Couldn't be more even at this point. Bengoa in the middle.
Bengoa is doing a nice job with his movement, side to side type of movement, inside, outside, being effective.
Bengoa on serve, still at 3s, and
yeah, that one didn't exactly hit his hand where he wanted it to.
Well, why don't you be a little more politically correct on that one? Just a poor toss. He hit that ball way above the midline. Wilson with the kill.
Yeah, Wilson's done a nice job since we talked about that one particular rotation. It hasn't hurt them like it has in the past, and half of the reason is Potter's ability to hit the ball out of the back row now.
And he didn't do that in game 1 at all. Started to pick it up a little bit in game 2. Bengoa started to pick it up and take the pressure off Potter. There's a one-on-one block. Nikiforov block, one of the few times he's been blocked. Reimer tipped at the net. Great job by Junker to get a piece of it. Wilson blocked. Boy, we're having a lot of transition here. Poor decision by Junker. And Romano coming down the pipe. Well, Junker had another hit attempt that time.
Yeah, he did. And Junker's just not playing smart volleyball. You know, if you're going to send it over the net like that on a second hit, it's got to be an attack. It can't be a free ball. Otherwise, you set it up for somebody else to hit the ball.
Not much Potter could do with it that time. Spitznagel had to go and reach out and touch someone for that set. Low set. Potter tried to broad jump into it. Took a 2-step approach. No way he could put a lot of height on that kill attempt. Boy, does he have some hang time. Dug out by Ball State. Here's Romano on the outside, missing long. Oh, and they call it touch. Called by the back official. The back line judge calling the touch.
Yeah, it looked like it went off the hands pretty heavy there.
Pete Hansen up clapping. Must have agreed with the call. Potter, tough pass for Spitznagel. And that was a very good set. The bump set to Junker in the middle.
It certainly was. That wouldn't be my option as a coach to tell my setter to do that. But they got away with it.
5-3 Ball State and into the net. The lift that time for Haas, trying to bring it back. There's the difference. Coach Shondell has said that he's a 6'4" version of Lloyd Ball. They like to think of him in like that. He's out of Brazil. But if he was Lloyd Ball 6'8", he would not have been into the net that time.
No, it would have been a perfect pass.
Wow, and there's a big swing by Romano against a good block, Junker and Spitznagel. Dolgov.
Yeah, still 5-4 for Ball State. Nice serve.
Service ace, Dolgov. Out of Moscow, that makes it 6-4 Ball State.
It's another freshman there, I believe.
You are right, he goes 6'5". This is Wilson, a hitting error. Never got it over the net.
We're back to that rotation again. They just need to be successful. They've given up 2 points here at 7-4. Timeout Ohio State. They're going to talk about it and regroup at this point.
At Ohio State, the team that relies on defense, they don't have the spurt ability to come back with a bunch of points on one service rotation. So they've got to do it with defense. Can't let them get out that far.
They definitely have to work at it a lot harder than they are right now, that's for sure.
Shot of the Ohio State bench and now the Ball State bench. One of these two teams will be in the championship match tomorrow. You can catch it here live, 7:30 on Channel 6 at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Tim Heffron, the celebrated analyst. Now CBS, I understand, is looking at
Good
news
heavens.
to you, huh?
You getting me a job there too, is that right?
Oh yeah, sure thing. Anyway, you can catch that action, 7:30. IPFW Lewis winner will play the winner of this matchup tomorrow evening, 7:30 on Channel 6.
If I'm going to be a telecaster there, I wouldn't mind doing some of the golf tournaments they have. Look at that.
How is your golf game, by the way? I'm sure people at home are really interested in that.
Well, Arnie and I went out yesterday, you know, and he basically whipped the pants off me. It was early in the season, but he played pretty well.
A put down by Romano. This is Dolgov back on serve at 8-4. Potter broad jumping into that one to keep her off position perfectly. Potter up with it. Spitznagel setting. Wilson with a dink attempt. Great call, and Romano cannot come up with it.
Yeah, Romano getting all over himself. He should have come up with that ball. He knows it, and he's just having some problems tonight. Not in sync here, as you'll see. Kind of back on his heels there. A little stutter step backwards. That's always a bad sign defensively when you do that.
Oath with the dink. Junker comes up with it. Eastman a great save. Spitznagel with the dump. Romano. Boy, got the hands up just in time, Potter did. Saved the mud pack.
8-4 at this point. Ball State taking a bit of a lead here.
Brilliant control. Game 3 right now.
Basically, if they want to, they could end this game if they really put it together here emotionally.
Off the block, Bengoa.
Block did not get set up well at all. They were kind of spread out, and one about 3 feet off the net. It's a recipe for disaster.
A little bit on the heels, too, in the service there with a bailout. It's Junker.
Definitely Ohio State not focusing real well when they get their opportunities to score points.
Potter out of the back row against a 3-man block, and he goes into the net. What do we have? Both teams into the net?
No, he thought they were going to go into the net. What actually happened was Potter grabbed him.
My fault. I just thought he was going to be over the line. I anticipated him being over the line. He was standing right on this side, Todd, and he pulled him back. Patty agreed. Come on, guys, let's go.
Okay, so the end result there is a replay.
Yeah, it's called an inadvertent whistle, and we'll just go back to where we began at the start of the rally.
Well, that would have been a point for Ball State because Potter was going under the net. Eastman trying to save him. Eastman with a hitting error of his own right there.
They could have called that set by Reimer. Ohio State gets the side out nonetheless, but Pat's reaching for a card here, looks like.
Almost. Pete Hansen up, and he's talking to her right now.
He's getting a card on somebody. I'm not sure who the card is for, but it's for the coach, I believe.
And Tim, tell us what that means.
Well, it's a yellow card. It's just a basic warning saying don't do whatever you just did again, or the next time it's going to cost you a point.
4-8 to score. Ohio State on serve. This is Nikiforov. Yeah, I really think that right now, Coach Pete Hansen of Ohio State realizes this point the game can't allow Ball State to get out much farther, and you can't come back.
It could slip away pretty quickly here. It could slip away pretty quickly. A couple unforced errors here, and Ohio State will go down the tubes.
Instead of calling a timeout, here's what you do. You bring in a substitution. Eastman is coming out. He's the big block into the game now. First time we've seen him.
And he's not bad offensively. He's pretty good. His blocking's kind of suspect, but offensively, he's going to keep OSU in the game much better than Eastman will.
Dan Malkovich. Dug out of there. Got to get it over. Reimer with the dump. Bengoa.
Bengoa with a nice stretch there. Reaches as high as he possibly can to get that side out as they're down 4-9. One game apiece. They're at that point where this game could get out of reach real quickly. They need to focus when they get their opportunities to score points.
Bengoa up with it. Yeah, we need each other fine. It's
and
just
that's the point number one. They're off for finally.
We can barely hear them.
They got a shot here at putting a run together because they're going to need it desperately. Here's a bad pass. Reimer with a roll. Potter going cross court. Oh, that ball looked like it was down, but it's dug up.
Oh, and what a play that was. Romano coming up with it.
Nice play.
Never got it over the net. Romano hitting error.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity, and I think he made the right choice by going after it because it was high enough for him to take a good swing at it. He just pulled the ball down instead of reaching out and hitting out at the ball.
Junker with the kill on the overpass.
A little tap down shot there, a little wrister. And gets a nice angle off of it because if you hit that ball straight ahead, it'll go into the block. You've got to hit angles as a middle hitter with an overpass. Nice dig, they're in, nice play. Just couldn't quite come up with it. Spitznagel, nice opportunity though. As long as you get a hand on the ball, it has a different psychological effect on the offensive player than if you don't get any hand on the ball. It just hits the floor. That takes something out of the offensive player, actually.
Potter putting it down.
I do. Nice slide approach there by Reimer. One-footed takeoff. Almost dug up once again. That ball without a block should be put away right to the floor without any touches, but Ohio State is willing to stick their nose in there and try to dig that ball up.
Dolgoff on serve at 9-6. This is Potter.
And OSU is actually back in this match. They look much more confident. They look much more intense out there. They just need to score some points right here. All it takes is one or two, and it's basically an even-Steven game.
Spinner to keep her off. Bends it off with both hands. Wilson up with it. This is Potter trying to set to the outside. Bengal with the dink. That's all he could do. Oh, and a poor set that time.
Yeah.
Reimer's got to realize that he's got to put that ball where Oath can do something with it.
And usually, unless you've had a lot of practice at that particular thing, as a non-setter, you don't exactly want to set the ball on the quick set because that's a difficult set to make. And much more safe set for a non-setter to make is to set the ball outside. Shondell, knowing that, seeing his veteran player make a mistake like that, decides he needs to settle things down as they're back in the game here at 7-9.
Well, Tim, long after the Final Four is history, you're going to be sticking around here June 27th and the 30th. Girls ages 6 to 15. You'll be around doing your women's volleyball at this time early in June, I guess. Or invited to attend the IPFW Girls Basketball Camp here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. IPFW Women's Basketball Coach Eileen Kleinfeld, Assistant Coach Lisa Miller, and current IPFW players will conduct training that emphasizes shooting, footwork, passing, dribbling, rebounding, scrimmaging, and individual and team defense. For more information on how to register, the number one more time, 481-6643, and just ask about the girls basketball camp. Spots are limited, so the earlier you get in, the more likely you will be assured of a spot in camp. 7-9 the score. On serve right now, Matt Wilson for Ohio State, waiting for the whistle. Now has 5 to get it over. Romano, one-on-one. I don't know where Junker was at that time.
And basically, OSU back in this, as you can see, OSU only two points behind here. It's 9-7, very even score.
First jump we've seen tonight. And a big block, Scott Oath, Greg Romano.
Big block, and Bengoa going to the weak side there with nobody out there with him. I don't understand why he didn't back set that ball. As you can see, 2 blockers in the middle, nobody back on Bengoa, who's your hot hitter.
Junker taking the angle, squeezing the line for the kill. Junker
right
will go
here.
back on serve at 7-10.
Nice shot by the middle to come back off that first block.
Bengoa up with it. Go ahead, Tim. I want to hear you pronounce that name.
Dan, he just didn't turn around in time there and didn't realize the ball was still in the air.
The 9 player right here.
There he goes. He's very effective offensively, as you can see. It's just his defense he needs work on. He needs to work on his blocking and his digging. And once again, he needs to realize where the ball is at all times on the court. He's a freshman, too, so he's going to make those kinds of mistakes, losing track of the ball in a blocking situation.
This is Oates still alive. Spitznagel got a piece of it.
That's Oates' favorite shot, across his body to the left or the right deep part of the court of OSU. You see right there, it's just his favorite shot to hit, right across over the top of his head.
Another substitution. Jeff Higson came in game 2 for Scott Oates as well. He'll come in the back row, and he responds with a service error, and boy, that shoots.
Yeah, that was a rocket. He was looking for some bricks, I think. We almost had a brick count there on the wall.
I was going to say that shoots the coach's strategy, but I like the takeoff you had better. A service ace, Bengoa again. Caught Romano napping.
Yeah, and
we
may see that substitution tally in for Romano here very shortly if he doesn't pass this next ball well.
And he went right back, an easy serve for Romano to handle. Younger up with it, got to get it over. We call a lift instead, the up official.
And another card coming out here. Could this be a red card? We'll find out. Just a yellow.
Both officials doing
a yellow card for 11. That's workmanlike. Yeah. And I don't think it was in English either.
As we can hear it,
Patty Salvatore.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call on number 11, and she doesn't think it was in English.
That would be Jose Bengoa, and probably that's one advantage. And there's your man, Tim. Do you want to take a crack at his name, or am I going to have to butcher it?
I call him Dan. That's all I'm going to venture, Dan M.
I believe it's, well, there you see it there. We'll get the pronunciation, the correct pronunciation. We had it marked down here. It's a tongue twister. Keep her off, putting down from the outside.
Score is 10-8 for Ball State at this point. Very even game. You can see right there, nice cross-court hit.
Middle blocker a little late in getting over. Potter, Keeperoff saves it. It's still alive. What a great get. Okay, Ohio State. Let's see what they can do. Junker off the block one more time. And Reimer into the net.
Reimer into the net. Just a great defensive battle there by Ball State. They're not known for that as much as Ohio State is, but that's the kind of thing that can lift your spirits.
Potter on serve at 8-10.
They've got another shank here by Romano. That's 2 for him lately, and that's cost them 2 points, gotten them up to 9. Once again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tolley enter the game in his position. They're going to work him over a little more here.
Go right back to him. Dug out by Bengoa. Etherton with the overpass. Was he into the net? They call Spitznagel into the net.
Yeah. And I didn't see it because I was looking real close. It looked like it could have been a net very easily because of an overpass and trying to get a block back up in a difficult position. But I didn't see the net. Patty must have saw just a bitty touch net there, a little shirt net or something.
Jeff Higson back out of the lineup. Scott Oates moving it to the front row. Just missing Etherton.
Etherton almost had an opportunity for the dance. Not quite yet.
We haven't seen it yet.
He's just been just shy like 3 times that in line.
Not the easiest pass, and there's a chrome job right there, off the chrome dome.
Yeah.
Reimer.
Big swing. Fans starting to pack in as we go longer and longer into this game, anticipating IPFW playing later on. We're just seeing more and more people come in here. It's getting noisier and noisier.
It's up around 1,000 people right now as Wilson. This is Bengoa, 2-man block. Oh, and Romano, 6'5" apiece. And they had the roof on that one. Tim, you know that the conventional thinking that the 2 and 3 seeds wear each other out, and the 1 seed has an easier time with the 4 seed. that's sort of been true to form, I guess, because, well, the #1 seed has won this tournament all 13 years it has been in existence. Junker blocked there at the middle. Perhaps starting to see a little bit of the fatigue right now. These teams have been going at each other now for an hour 45.
Yeah, they're going to go at it for a while, and Ohio State has to take a timeout here with the score 12-9 against them. Obviously, Pete doesn't want to let this thing get out of hand. They've had a couple of plays where they just have not set up good opportunities to swing at the ball. They're having to roll the ball and tip the ball, and as we've seen before, as soon as they start doing that, they're going to get roofed by Ball State. They got to get back on it and take some swings, some good swings at the ball.
But Tim, keep in mind, though, that Ohio State was down by this score as well in game 2 and came back to put it away. All right, a little business to take care of here. The Royal Dons Club, you know all about it. You get priority seating here. It's the official booster club for IPFW athletic teams. Members enjoy that priority seating at all IPFW sporting events. Food and refreshments in the hospitality room. Admission to IPFW Sports Media Luncheons, which was one of them held today. And association with other Mastodon supporters. For more information about becoming a Royal Don Club member, contact Lisa Moreland, 481-6027. Or you can write Royal Dons Club, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. Number one more time, 481-6027. Back to live action. This is Reimer. Wilson's got to get up. Boy, we had a communication breakdown there.
And that's the problem entering a new hitter there. That ball is for Potter, obviously, and he needs to take a crack at that. 13-9. Some mental breakdowns here by OSU.
Timeout, not the desired effect. Bengoa up by Reimer, good up. Romano with a good swing at it. Did he get the touch? No.
I'm not sure there was a touch there. I think you rolled the ball over him, and they're complaining that there should have been a touch. Pat doesn't say, I don't think there's a touch. I certainly didn't see one. I don't have exactly the best opportunity to see such a thing here, but...
This is Reimer out of the back row. Potter up with it. What a great up that was. And now another communication breakdown. Potter's left-handed. That was his ball. And he is jumping all over Matt Wilson out there.
And it really is Potter's ball. He had enough time to get up and take advantage of that and get up there. He's the back row banger, you know. He just can't make mistakes like this.
And he responds with a poor pass. Spitznagel, the setter, jumping on him, telling him to cool down a little bit. This one's not over. We're going to have a substitution. Potter's going to come out. Instead, he's taking Wilson out. Casey McCann's first time we've seen him tonight.
14-9, game point. Romano serving here.
And Ball State had 2 chances in game 2 to put it away. And a whiff. Hit the top of the net, so a legal play. Ooh, boy. Talk about a game of inches.
Yeah, it didn't take much because that was really close to ending the game here. And they've got a second reprieve here, a bit of one. They've got to manifest some momentum here. I'm not sure they can do that. They're kind of in the dumps at this point, but OSU will give it a try here, I'm sure.
Spitznagel, 9-14, Ball State. Chance to side out.
And that's one way to do it, is to have your competitor go in the tank, basically. I mean, not saying that he's exactly in the tank, but make mistakes like that are uncalled for. 14-9, now 14-10.
And this is a good rotation for Ohio State to score off of.
That ball's out. Another hitting error for Ball State here. They're just trying to keep Ohio State in the game here, and they're doing a good job of it. See what happens here. Another good pass.
Oh, big block, but can't turn it inside. That's Potter on the outside. Nikiforov with a kill.
Yeah, Nikiforov is just unstoppable. The guy's just automatic. Every time he hits the ball, something good happens for Ball State.
Another swing. Scott Oath. Ball State another chance to put one in the books. Potter swinging around the backside. Pretty play.
And Mahasevich there in the middle is doing a nice job at holding the block and opening up those kind of opportunities for Potter as an offensive threat. He has to do that every time.
Well, he is a more likely source of offense, as you mentioned. And that time, no penetration by Mahasevich.
You can see the deficit in blocking there. He wasn't even close to touching that ball. The ball was like 1.5 feet over the top of him here, as you can see. It's just a real liability as a blocker.
Well, you only give up 1 inch, but it's a different mentality when Eastman is in there. Ooh, Potter almost into the net, and we had Ball State instead. Reimer in, and there's a nice piece of sportsmanship. Potter helping Reimer up. And Ball State has reached this 14 plateau mark. You see the tail end there.
They have. They're not being very aggressive once they get to 14. They're making very uncharacteristic errors. It's not like they're aggressive errors. They're just making errors that are kind of roll, half passive. I hope the other team loses this game instead of I want to win this game.
Mahasevich on the line that time. Fails to come up with it. He was in position. And Tim, that's a mark of a good team that they can put it away when they have the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, and you put it away by taking control yourself.
Oh, geez, Potter got away with one there.
Instead of letting the other team lose the game, you want to win the game. You want to feel good about that. You want to know that you control the destiny of the match. Nice serve. It's an excellent pass out of that tough serve.
Reimer slide behind. McCann's had it.
And they're in a really bad rotation here. Potter's got to see the ball because Wilson's out of the game here. It's just got to go to Potter as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't.
Boy, they go to McCants and he blows it. He airs one out. That's game number 3, 15-11. Ball State up 2-1 now. Your score is 15-6, 14-16, 15-11 in the third. We're going to 4. And I would suspect, Tim, that you will see Matt Wilson back in the lineup for Ohio State.
I've bet a lot of money on that.
And I tell you what, I think this one's going to go 5, too.
You still think it's going 5, huh?
I think it's going to go 5. We'll find out. We'll be back with game 4 right after this time.
Team spirit is alive and well at IPFW. That's because IPFW has established itself as an athletic power, not only regionally, but nationally. With 11 major sports, IPFW offers talented student athletes great opportunities. Success and support of IPFW athletics comes solely from the fans, students, faculty, alumni, and the prestigious Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons Athletic Club has over 500 members who financially support IPFW athletics, enabling the university to provide scholarships to deserving athletes. Members will receive one or all of the following: season passes to all sporting events, special seating, hospitality room, plus Royal Dons apparel and gifts. In May of '94, IPFW will host the men's collegiate Final Four volleyball championships. Royal Dons will be first in line to purchase preferred seating. Be a part of the winning tradition. Join the Royal Dons Club. We need your support. Call IPFW Athletics. Get into the team spirit.
For over 2 millennia, Western society has generated a rich visual tradition of painting, sculpture, and architecture. What do these images mean? How can we understand them? Art of the Western world will take you on an exciting journey that will suggest answers to these and other questions. Beginning in ancient Greece and ending on the brink of the future, it will examine many of mankind's most enduring artistic achievements.
future Hall of Famer, Tim Hempron.
I get better all the time, Paul.
That's right, Tim. We don't know if we're going to put you in the broadcasting wing or the volleyball wing. Tim, talking during that break there about the energy expenditure of both teams tonight, even though both teams are sort of a little bit in slow motion right now, this match has gone upwards of 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a very slow developing match. None of the athletes on either team has been on his game throughout the entire match. There's been good games for particular players, but nobody has kept it in first or full gear throughout the entire match, and they've been relying on their teammates here and there to help them out.
Okay, the lineups, Mahasevic is going to stay in. Eastman is not going to get the start for game 3. Wilson is in. Matt Wilson is going to serve for Ohio State. For Ball State, you have Etherton, Romano, Reimer, Oath, Kieferoff, and Forhaas. Same starting lineup as in game number 1. Important for Ohio State to jump out here. Very, very important.
Yeah, they need to get to that 5th game, and as we know, anything can happen in game 5.
You know, you just don't expect the Ohio State team to come back. They do it with defense. They don't have that strong side-out offense. Got a little too far behind in game 3. Ball State gave plenty of opportunities, though, at 14, and there's a gimme 4 hits. Etherton failing to connect.
And they said that Phil touched the ball on the way by. Phil saying I wasn't even close to that ball.
It's a point for Ohio State. Etherton does not agree with it.
Ball State getting a little chuckle out of it now on the bench. Ooh, nice serve.
Nice up.
That ball's launched. Good 2-point lead here for OSU. They've got an opportunity now to grab some mo. Nice block.
Yunker finding the corner. What a great play.
Yeah,
he gets up for the block and re-ups again.
Yeah, it's a difficult play for middle blockers to do that. They jump block. They have to come down immediately, jump back up, and knuckle that ball into the corner.
Nice service there. You're up 3-0 here.
And
3 straight points.
And then you serve out.
You bail out.
And not only do you serve out, you serve into the net, which doesn't give them an opportunity to play the ball, even if it is going long.
Bengoa off the blockers. Romano, stretch it. Reimer turning and looking for it.
Bengoa is so much more effective as a side-to-side hitter than as a straight-on hitter. If he goes
By that you mean?
Going straight to the net, it's easier for the block to line up on that kind of approach.
Oh, great up by Bengoa. He looked like he hyperextended.
Yeah, it's a nice pancake, and he may be smarting from that, but basically what I'm saying is if you go side to side of the net, it's harder for the block to line up, and with his quickness, he's able to take advantage of gaps in the block when that's available for him.
Bengoa reaching on that, the overpass. Mahasevic.
That looked like a back row block to me. That setter is in the back row, and he touched that ball.
That's off the fingertips, indeed. Bengoa that time was grabbing just slightly at his right shoulder. Seems to be okay this time. And you couldn't ask for better if you're Coach Pete Hansen.
Oh, yeah.
5-0.
Easy 5 points. That's a third of a game that they didn't really have to work hard for. Ball State kind of drops it. Shondell knows it. Instead of going to his revolving door, he's gone for a timeout, which I find unusual for Ball State to do.
And Coach Shondell, he doesn't like to use the timeouts too much. When IPFW beat them in that second game down in Muncie, 15-3, he was a little, well, I don't know, he didn't go to the timeout when people thought that one might be necessary. And IPFW just absolutely steamrolled them, had momentum going, and just rode it on out to the victory.
They just out-physically played them and played at the level IPFW is capable of playing. I mean, it's just no secret that, in fact, Shondell said in the media luncheon today that he thinks IPFW has got to be one of the top 2 teams in the nation, and the other one being UCLA. You know, that's not to say that that Ball State's given up and not, you know, if they make it past this one, they're going to give up when they play IPFW. It's just saying that potential-wise, IPFW has the best potential out of all the teams here in this tournament.
John Yunker on serve at 5-0. And a big reason for that, Coach Ball will tell you this straight out. Etherton over the middle. Good pass, good set. And the quick hitter works. That IPFW is not prone to those stretches anymore as we get another look at it. Where they go and they go in the tank for a couple plays, 3 or 4 plays.
They're much more consistent, especially on their passing, which has to do an awful lot with their ability to play the game at a high level intensity-wise, because they really do stress a complex type of offense. That requires a pass, and as soon as you don't pass the ball, it takes them out of their in-system type of offense.
Romano into the net that time. Service error by Spitznagel. Can you get me ISO shots at number 9 Ball State and number 11 on Ball State, and then number 11
Score is still 5-0 for
Ohio
State here as Reimer goes to his jump serve. We haven't seen that a whole lot here. Very effective with it as he catches everybody off guard with that one.
For Ball State, 11-2 for Ohio State.
Ohio State kind of taking a breather here. They just can't afford to take any breathers. If they lose this game, their season's over. Nice hit by Romano on the outside there, going off the outside part of Jose's hand.
Ball State coming back at 2-5. Reimer on serve. Getting the signal from the bench which zone to put it in.
Well, you got to call that one, I'm afraid. It's legal to double the ball on the first contact over the net if you don't use your fingertips. And it was kind of a half fingertips knuckle. He didn't know what he was doing with it. And Pat, rightly so, decided to call a double on fingertip action.
Didn't make the cup. He wanted to make the cup and just was in between. And Ohio State
couldn't get the clam dig together there, I guess you call that.
Clam dig. You want that as a term?
Well, I'm not sure we've seen a real clam dig here. It used to be actually a technique used by the older players where they put the heels of their hands together and knock the ball up, and their fingers would go straight out from each other. Too bad I can't show you that up here. I don't see that anymore. You see it with the older players, though.
Tim, you're giving away your age up here.
I know.
6-2 Ohio State in the lead. Bengoa only option. Etherton with a mistake. But for Haas, 6-4 setter with a bailout.
Yeah, and as a middle hitter, you just can't hit the ball straight ahead on an overpass. We've talked about that in the past. You're asking to get blocked. You've got to hit angles.
Boy, they're not respecting Mahasevich. Rather.
They're not. And, you know, if I'm the setter for OSU, I've got to say, hey, that's his best attribute. That's how he can help the team the most. Get him the ball if they're not going to block him.
6-3, Ohio State in the lead, game 4. Ball State up 2-1, and Spitznagel caught leaning the other way, wanted that play.
Thought he knew where the ball was going and actually didn't. He guessed wrong. It cost him.
Scott Oathland serve at 3-6. This is Bengoa. Spitznagel, Yunker over the middle. And they're trying to get that middle involved a little bit, Ohio State. Yunker comes in tonight at a 33% clip, but he only gets 2.5 kills a game. Tipped that time by Berhaas, poor decision. But Potter's,
and he missed down the line. That should tell you something. He's been successful all night long going cross court, and now all of a sudden he decides to go line. Why, I'm not sure. Go back to the cross court shot.
Up.
This ball's got to go over. Nice play, because it would have been 4 hits that he set that ball. Ball's out.
Ooh, and Spitznagel pulling back in time to keep her off. Misses the blocker's hands.
3-6 is our score here, with OSU actually in the lead. Down by 1 in games. They need to put another run together here, I think. And this is their opportunity.
Great opportunity. Bengoa 1-on-2 on the outside. Romano, familiar position for him out of the middle.
Yeah, he's a very good back row hitter out of the middle. Not so good out of the sides. Much better in the middle here, as you see in the replay. He seems to be able to work the court better.
11-2 in the run. That's a guy.
There was the clam dig. He put the old flippers up there and try to come up with it. He hasn't perfected it, obviously.
Boy, do we have some wild haircuts. IPFW players on the track watching the game.
They do. They came up with every type of haircut you could actually think of. I'm sure we'll get some shots of that. You can't see it now. Obviously, they're up on the track. It's hard for our cameras to get the angle needed, but eventually when they hit the floor, we'll get some close-ups.
We get a few chuckles out of it, too, that's for sure. Bengoa is starting to shine a little bit right now. They're moving him around.
They are. He's got to maintain that type of motion.
Still stuck on 6-3. This is Spitznagel back on serve. Wants to get this in. Service error the last time on serve. Oh, big swing. Did Oath hit it? Yes.
Hits
Got
it
a piece of the white.
Yeah, he hit a smoker there. That thing was flying.
Reimer on serve.
Nice dig. They may be in. I think they were still in that. They gave up on that ball. They thought it was going to hit the backboard. It's pulled up in the back there, but it wasn't. It was still alive.
It would have been an awful difficult play to get to that, though.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those never say die attitudes that you got to come up with that thing.
Both teams siding out. Oath in the middle. And that's going to be some trouble. Ahasevich having trouble in the middle. He is not the blocker that Eastman is. Another look at it here. Just reaching with the hands. He was out of position that time according to where the set was placed. Tick the net service there by Romano.
Yeah, we're kind of stuck here. We're going around in circles. We've been through the rotations a couple times now. The score has not changed. Somebody's looking for somebody to either increase the intensity or B, somebody's going to make a bunch of mistakes.
Dug out there. That might be something. Wilson comes up with it. Here's Bengoa.
Yeah, he was over. He was on the line.
Yep. Back row attacker in front of the 3-meter line. And Tim, just one more time so the viewers at home get that for sure. Once somebody is in the back row.
Yeah, you have to take off behind the 10-foot line or the 3-meter line. If you take off behind that, you're okay. If you don't take off behind that, you've got to wait till the ball goes below the plane of the top of the net there. And as soon as they do that, then they can hit it over.
Well, that's the second time Higskin did that in game number 3. Comes in and has a service error.
And as a substitute, you just can't do that. You've got to help your team, not hurt your team.
Wow, 3-man block. Reimer. Now it's Nikiforov. 2-man block. Junker doing it. They're going to go to him again. Junker up with it. Dug out of there by Wilson. Off the body. Motter with the put down. Reimer chases for Haas. Romano up with it. What a great play that was.
And that's a bad
let's get the call on this. Let's see if we can pick up Todd Reimer.
It was over, bud. It was over.
Romano was on the line there when he hit that backdoor attack. I thought he was, but it was really close, actually.
You have to take off behind the line. Wow, what a great play that time.
And worth a point, no less. So it's a great play for OSU.
And talk about maybe changing the tide of momentum right there.
Opportunity number 2 coming up.
And converting, Matt Wilson. 8-3 Ohio State. This is a big one. Shondell going to use a substitution here.
Here we go.
It's Oliver.
Who's coming out? Oh, this is unusual. I'm not sure about this sub. Apparently Shondell is. That's their most consistent outside hitter taken out of the game right there.
Paul Nikiforov coming out. Robert Tolliver coming in. And they go to him immediately on the serve. This is Romano blocked by Junker.
Well, I'm not sure about that sub at all. I think he's just done a fantastic job in there for Ball State and gets taken out.
Open goal with a shank.
Score is now 4-8. Ball State still down, but they're not down and out as far as mentally in this game at all.
It's for Haas on serve. They'll go right back at Bengoa. Good pass this time.
That's an awfully set and a nice save by Junker there.
Absolutely.
And
another one right back. Spitznagel with another tough set. Romano, and now here's a chance for Ball State. This is Tolliver, three-man block.
Hey, and Tolly, he's not jumping like he did in the other games there. Obviously a little cold yet. Going against a three-person block, that's a tough position, but this ball's definitely going outside to Reimer.
He's in position for it. That's where he likes to operate. Good enough pass for him. Here we go. Dug out by Wilson. Etherton 6'9". Potter comes up with it. Gonna reset for Haas, comes up with it. Tolley with a dink. Boy, Junker has to set it there. And
just collisions all over the court for OSU at this point.
Wow, and Reimer finally does it. Tim, I tell you though, watching these two teams transition,
they don't have the quickness that IPFW does.
IPFW players up there on the track smiling a little bit. Right?
Oh, they know. They just know that they're going to outplay somebody who plays that kind of transition at that speed. They just know they are.
And missing Romano going wide. Well, the difference is when you see a UCLA team and as fast as they get to the ball and set, speed is such a great equalizer for Ohio State if they can use it. Tolliver stepping in there on the seam. Romano missing outside.
They do. OSU especially should be quick on transition. They have no reason not to be quick as the shorter team.
And a little motion there from Matt Wilson, 9-4. Junker on serve.
Yeah, they've got the mojo going here, and got to stick your nose in there, not be on your heels. That's the old heel dig there. I fall down, go boom.
Wasn't that a hit by Chubby Checker?
That was the heel dig, as in you're on your heels and you fall backwards as the ball falls in front of you. The I fall down and go boom dig.
Romano on the overpass.
And we've got Ball State. They're down in score again, but they're still not out of this. They're fighting to come back here.
5'9", Etherton on serve. Bengoa 1-on-9.
Big time hit.
Dug out by Tolley though. Oath with a push, gets away.
And just no transition. It's just kind of transition-less, if you will. It's just amazing to me that ball's not set to the middle. We've not seen one transition play to the middle that's been successful or even quick.
That's what happens. They took Romano out of the middle. Ball State did. Moved him to the left side.
Another net. We've seen so many nets tonight that we got fish all over the place here, I think.
Tim is really fishing for a term right now.
That's all we got. We're catching crappies everywhere here.
Spitznagel on serve at 9-6.
Soon to be known as the carp play.
Bengoa, 2-on-1 block.
Nice penetration. Both players were up over that net, and obviously because that ball went straight down. It's just great penetration by both of them.
Here's another look at it. Reimer way out. That allowed Oath to close, take away the angle. Reimer way over the net. Boy, he almost went over the line on the serve that time. Then go over the dink. Reimer up with it.
Oath is obviously not an outside hitter. That is his second attempt at hitting a ball outside. Not ready at all. There's our first quick transition middle.
Whoa, that must have been off the fingertips of the net Etherton spot.
Well, I think Phil has to think that. Otherwise, it's bring a friend to the Y type of dig as that ball sailing out of bounds, and Etherton saves Bengoa from a horrible hit there.
Tim, I got to tell you, you must have played some back row defense because you got all the names for the dig. That time, the quick one by Perhaas. You must have heard them all when you were a player.
Well, you know, you make that kind of stuff up as you go, and you just see a lot of it here. Nice shot by the setter.
Wide open in the middle.
Nobody expecting that. We're kind of stuck at 9-6 at this point. There's Ball State's opportunity to get closer.
Wow, one-on-one block. Romano coming down the pipe. Mahasevic.
And here comes the card on Reimer for hitting the ball, I think, and rightly so. Oh, Pat puts it back into his pocket there. I'm not sure why. He should have carded him. Just a great block there by Mahasevic.
Wilson was calling that one. He saw that the dink was coming, just couldn't turn and get to it in time.
Yeah, he's got to come up with that ball.
Both on serve at 6-9. Ball State ahead 2-1. Best of 5, and Junker putting it down. Both teams trying to establish that middle, and perhaps whoever does it first is going to have the upper hand.
Yeah, they definitely are, and we haven't heard from Junker in a while, and he hit that ball fairly hard. I haven't seen him hit like that. I'm not sure he's related to Noodle or not here, but...
Wow, in between the seams, Mahasevic had it. Bengoa stepped in front.
That ball's got to come up. We're looking at... Some teams just got to break this 6-9 deadlock here.
Here's another look one more time. Mahasevic was in position. Bengoa stepping inside with a screw under step. Junker off the top.
Blocker starting to feed into the middle.
Wow, and there's Reimer.
We haven't seen Potter hit one out of the back row in some time here, actually. I haven't seen that at all this game.
And if you're saving them, which they're not, but if you are, you know it's time to unleash him.
Now it's time. The time is now. Get the ball to him. Oh, another bring a friend to the Y. Big by Romano. Thank you very much for taking that.
That one did appear like it was headed out of bounds. Side out. Wilson on serve at 9-7. Tough floater that time. Talley handles nicely. This is Reimer off the block. Wilson, tough set that time, and Bengoa cannot convert. Tough set.
They're just, you know, and it's all because they didn't get an initial good pass and had an easy opportunity to get a good pass out of that. They just blew it. The two players run into each other, not talking back there on defense.
Bengoa off the block, still alive, one to get it over. Romano finding line. Mahasevic was cheating back and forth, didn't know whether to cover the middle or the line.
And we're seeing maybe some fatigue on OSU here, as they're not looking quite as zippy as they were in the beginning of this thing here.
Jumped out 5-0 here. Potter taking the pass. Junker dug up by Oath. Outside Reimer, and Potter can't cover. And we're going to have a timeout here. Pete Hansen calls it 9-9. We're even in game 4. Ball State has come back. 3 straight points.
Boy, they were down by quite a bit, too. I forget if it was 9-4 or something like that. And they've climbed right back in this thing as OSU has let their guard down. And, you know, maybe they were kind of hoping for Ball State to kind of lose this game and not have to put as much effort into it. And Ball State says, no, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to prove that you can beat us, and you're going to have to do it. We're not going to give it to you.
Well, the main attraction for a lot of the fans here in the stands coming up 20 to 25 minutes after this one ends will be IPFW versus Lewis University. IPFW currently the second longest winning streak in the nation at 11. UCLA up there at number 1 with 19. They lost their first match of the year, have not lost since. It really closed a lot of people out. 3-love. Tim, you have to like this if you're coaching involved, is the fact that these teams have gone at each other for 2.5 hours almost.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know maybe if that's a mental edge. I think IPFW, though, is one of the best conditioned teams. And they'll be able to run the quick offense consistently tomorrow night should they beat Lewis University.
Yeah, I'm
Whereas
not sure.
the fatigue might enter in for one of these teams in games 3 or 4.
As we can see the hair up there on the track, it's kind of tough to see yet. As we get them down on the floor, it'll be much easier. Nice shot to Junker there. But you're right in that IPFW will be able to remain more intense for a longer period of time than these two teams. And with that fact, along with both of these teams having to put a lot of effort into this match. I'm not sure either team's going to be able to physically handle IPFW, and really the only thing stopping IPFW will be IPFW itself.
Here we see Potter, and Yucker comes back with a service error, though. That was a good rotation for Ohio State. They got what they wanted. They got a point there.
And they should serve that ball in, because they desperately need to score in bunches. That's how they score their points. They don't score them one at a time. They score them in groups.
And a service error by Etherton.
Service error by Etherton. Side out.
Spitznagel on serve at 10-9.
And he's not really served that tough. He's served tougher in the past, and he's having some trouble with it today. Well, that one's not exactly handled well.
Romano off. Mahasevich.
Seems like Ball State is able to side out at will here. And this is a good rotation for Ball State. Nice play. And Oath, I mean, he looked like the fool there because he got faked out, but he really did have to go at the middle hitter there. He didn't have a choice. He had to go. He's up. He's in position. And as you see right there, he left Potter wide open.
For Haas, sliding just slipped that time. Looked like he wanted to set Reimer to the outside.
And that's a bit of a, you know, it's a judgment call on the setter's part whether he can pull that set off or not. And the freshman did it. You know, I don't know if that's overconfidence or not knowing your abilities or what, but they come right back here.
Boy, tough set for Wilson.
To roll. Phil with a flopping dig.
Romano with the kill. We're going to put a limit on how many dig names you can come up with legally.
That was a, that one looked like it hurt. He hit the ground kind of hard after he made that play.
(9-11) Ball State trailing in game 4. Potter combination play.
And we're at 11-9, and Ohio State has been able to grab a couple here, but they really need to score like 2-3 points in a row. And if they can do that, they're going to win this game.
Reimer down with it into the net. It was a straight put down by Reimer.
That was a nice hit. It went right through the block there. Block did not close. Reimer takes advantage.
Potter, good pass. Coming back to him.
Oh, lucky block.
By Etherton, just because he's 6'9". Bengoa up with it. Now Spitznagel. Potter again off the blind. Boy, Tolliver wanted to dump that over. I don't know if that was a good decision.
Yeah, it isn't, you know, and it's a freshman mistake. If you don't have a good chance to attack the ball and you're on the second attack, or even the first attack, don't send a free ball to the other team. Pop it up to your side, let somebody else take the swing, get a good attack. Oh, nice
Potter
dig.
up with it. Boy, it's right at the net, the joust, and we're going to have a replay.
That's a good call. That's a really good call there. Reimer doesn't like, but I think it is.
Held ball. It's a replay.
It was a held ball. They jostled back and forth. The joust went on there. The ball went one way, went the other way. As both players are holding on to the ball, it's an obvious call. Oh, a bad pass and a horrible play by Ohio State.
Potter up with a great get. It's a line. Wilson with a put down.
That's much better. See, that first play, he's got to take a swing at the ball. You can't tip it when somebody else is blocking or you're going to get in trouble. Go up and hammer that thing. You see right there, he's much more successful when he hits the ball. Oh, that ball's in.
Ooh, just missed.
Fans think it's in. Pat goes with the lines judge as it's out. 12-9 is the score here. Ball State down.
Ohio State doing what they have to do. Keeping the ball in play.
Nice set. Oh, lucky block.
Reimer catching Mahasevich's throw that time.
Little haircut.
If he was bald, that ball would have been out of bounds.
It would have. It would have.
Something to think about.
That's really a lucky play by Ball State, as all the blockers were on the ground and they just happened to get that ball up by hitting somebody on the head.
Oh, and on the way down, Wilson catches the block.
And we're in that rotation where they just can't seem to get out of it. It's cost them 2 points again, and it's the end of the game. Potter's got to see the ball on the back court here.
Good pass, Potter, Bobby. One more time for Potter. Dug out by Verhaas, and a put down by Wilson.
And that's so much better than tipping the ball, I think.
Oh,
just a
absolutely.
Touch. Take it with authority. Take the ball back with authority. Let them know you mean business.
12-11, Ohio State, your leader in Game 4. They need this one to go to the rally scoring in Game 5. High outside set. Reimer not in position, but he brought it back, Tim.
Just a nice roll shot there, and Potter's got to make that dig, seeing that he's out of position, seeing he's rolling the ball. Roll up in there and get it.
Popcorn serve. Going Bengoa.
That was a touch.
Good call.
It was a great call. It was an obvious touch, and Ball State's putting on a good act here. They might get an Emmy for such an event, but it was obvious.
And Tim, as a coach, you don't condone that, do you? You don't.
Oh,
you
no,
don't
you're honest at all points of the game.
Oh,
of course.
Yes. Into the game now. Mark Zemeska.
12-11 is our score here. It's been nip and tuck, and OSU has just not been able to serve the ball tough enough lately to make Ball State predictable, and they really have to do that. They've got to take some chances here, or Ball State's going to pull this game out.
Well, we've seen Higsden come in. This is Paliza. See if he gets the ball.
He's going to serve short here.
Right. He's got to get this ball over. He does.
Potter
sits down, and Potter with the touch.
Yeah, and it was a lucky play because it was not the best set for a left-handed person out of the back row. He made a nice shot to the deep corner, hoping to get that baby in. Somebody got a little hand on it. Spitznagel with an opportunity here. They need a point desperately.
Oh, almost got another service ace on Romano. And the big tool, the Black & Decker on the outside.
The old billboard shot.
When you see the blockers up like that, we haven't seen a lot of finesse that we see sometimes from Roy Ball or Norman Almodovar, the wipe-off shot on the outside blockers where you just wipe the ball out of bounds.
And that's the time to do it when everybody knows you're getting the ball. It's high up in the air, double blocks on you. Use the hands. Go for hands.
Mark Zemeska coming out. Vahasovic back in. This has been go on serve at 12-11. Ooh, a tough overpass.
Oh, nice play. Nice recovery. Excellent recovery here.
Oh, and it turns. How about that? Paliza, they list him at 5'10".
There's the spark. That's the spark. The defensive specialist comes in and makes something good happen, as you can see right there.
And Tim, when he's in the back row like that, there's only one way he can get that ball over, and that's to hit it well below the midline and try and get some top spin on it.
See if they make it pay off here with a point.
Oh! 12-12. Tolliver with a one-on-one block.
OSU may be feeling this one slip away here as they feel that the volley gods may be against them.
Wilson with the pass. Spitznagel going back to him. He blows one.
Yep, it's slipping away in a world of hurry.
Timeout, Pete Hansen.
It's too bad that because you don't want to end the game on errors like that. You want to actually earn those points, hit the ball in bounds. Don't give the game away.
It's been a marathon right now, up on 2.5 hours. Ball State and Ohio State have been going at it. 13-12, Ball State in the lead in Game 4. We'll be right back to finish this one up, possibly right after this.
that new dummy cam is great.
Yeah, it'll sure give people a whole new outlook on what it's like when you don't wear a safety belt.
I think they'll get the picture.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Back to the Harrogate Sports Center. Haven't missed anything. Mahacevic, though, blocked by Scott Oath. And here it is for the match. Ohio State in a world of hurt right now. 14-12, Ball State can serve this one out. This is Potter coming up for it. It's going right back to him off the block. Here's a swing for Ball State. Romano puts it away. They're going to the championship game. 15-6, 14-16, 15-11, and 15-12. Ball State will meet the winner of the IPFW Lewis matchup at 7:30 tomorrow night. And it's going to be the type of game that really, if Ball State, this team plays like they played when they beat IPFW 3-0, it could be a good match. If they play like they play tonight, I really don't think they're going to have a chance against IPFW.
They really don't. They really won't have a prayer if they play like that tomorrow night.
And the reasons, Tim, for that? I mean,
well, they're just not up to the physical level that IPFW has been lately. And the transition's not even remotely close, and they've made a ton of mistakes tonight, had many opportunities to put games away, let them slip, made mistakes waiting for the other team to lose. I can tell you right now, IPFW will not lose the match tomorrow night. They're going to make Ball State earn every single point. They're going to keep constant pressure on them. And, you know, I'm assuming that IPFW is going to win this match coming up here. And they most probably will. I mean, it would just be the upset of all upsets if they don't. But Ball State's going to have to play a heck of a lot better tomorrow night if they want a chance in winning.
Boy, this team has been waiting for a week and a half to play. Finally getting on the court to do it. Be interesting to see what IPFW does. Had a couple of great practices last few days. And the players really getting into the team commitment type thing. You're going to see some strange haircuts. We'll try and zoom in on it as we can. These players are ready to go. Lewis versus IPFW. That one's going to be in about 20 minutes right now. We're going to take a break right here. Be back with a little more of the wrap-up here. The Ohio State-Ball State matchup. Ball State, your winner, one more time. 15-6, 14-16, and 15-11, and 15-12 in Game 4 there in the championship match. We're going to take a break right now. Be right back.
We fear it. We laugh at it. We scorn it. We think it's shameful. But these are misunderstandings. Misunderstandings that will fade away if we see mental illness for what it really is. A medical disease. A disease that can be treated if you just know where to turn. For an informative booklet, call the American Mental Health Fund.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you help us? I'm sorry, Sir, please help our brother. Ma'am, we need some blood for our brother. Please.
I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Sir? Please, ma'am.
Oh, not now, baby.
Our brother really needs blood. Can you help us?
Imagine if you had to ask for blood to save the life of someone you love. Next time the American Red Cross asks, give blood, please.
Center. We don't have the definitive wrap on the statistics yet. We'll get to that when we come back for Game 2 tonight, Lewis and IPFW. That's approximately 25 minutes away. We've got to take care of a little business here, though. First, We at IPFW are pleased to bring you cablecast of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you'd enjoyed this show and the excitement of intercollegiate sports from IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of many volunteers,